Hey, Decathlon Gamer, welcome back to FM23 Newton Heath, episode 20. We are now partway into our season, about a month and a half into our season, and I finally have completed the coaching badge, which is now a National A license. Uh, by the way, I started from a National B because I, in real life, have two coaching badges, one out of Japan and one out of the state of Washington. I've coached the sport for many years, though not for a while, as our school doesn't offer this as a sport, which is appalling. But there's rumors that we're going to finally have it next year, which is going to really mess up what I do because I already coach every single season we have with volleyball, girls basketball, boys basketball, and track over the course of the school year. The wonderful thing is we had just checked up days ago on where I was as a coach, so it's really clear what the differences are and where we're at now in terms of my attribute distribution. So first off, level of discipline went from a 1 to a 5, so +4. Motivating went from a 2 to a 3, as we picked up 5 points in the mental area. On the coaching side, a bit more has happened, good and bad actually. Attacking +1, fitness -1. We went from a 4 down to a 3, and tactical +1. Our net in the coaching attributes is a +1. That is not good. That is not good. Picking up 4 points of discipline and 1 in motivating obviously are good, but the overall net gain from that badge was just a +6. We're obviously going to spend each and every off season, I think, working on the next badge, especially with a small coaching staff. Also, another lesson learned, it's only been one match from where we left off, but it did count as myself being manager and a loss, as I went ahead and managed against Hereford, and yeah, we lost. And it was with me at the helm. Subs did get used, I could see, though late. So it does happen, right? It doesn't do nothing. It doesn't just go throughout your first 11 and do everything, unchanged. The AI takes over, but with me as manager. So I left off last episode with kind of the big question of, should I let the assistant manager do their thing because they clearly do it better than I do, or do we stay in charge? I have lost 3 straight in charge quick simming. We've won 2 straight with the assistant manager in charge. We are not performing terribly well when I'm at the helm. That much is clear. And it's not about formation. He has instructions to kind of keep things the same. He just has a much better rating. Now I have more discipline now. I don't think that's going to actually change things, though. Right now, coming in on trial is the final bunch. So what I have done in terms of scouting this year, from the beginning of the transfer market after contracts expired at the end of June. So from July 1st till now, September the 17th. It's taken me this long to get through it with about 10 new players daily, just as an estimate. What I've done is I went from all of the free agent that are interested in signing with us, all of those free agents, the hundreds of them, maybe 1,000 plus. Those that I didn't have scouting information on, which was the majority, probably like 800 plus players. I'd offer them trial 3 to 4 weeks, roughly 10 per day. I'd bring them in. I would almost instantly drop to the bottom of the list and find, this guy, these guys, none of them are going to be good enough. Select them all, and there's seven trials terminated, just like that, day 1. I'd end up getting rid of 90% almost immediately through that method. I'm more keen on hanging on to 18-year-olds a little bit longer to get through that attribute masking and see just how good they are and how much potential they have before eliminating them. 25-year-olds are less likely to be held on to a bit longer. 28-year-olds for sure are just not going to cut it. And unless they stand out immediately as somebody who could start. But over the course of the last 2.5 months, I have gone down that list, goalkeepers through the defense, the defensive mids on down to the strikers, and hit the bottom of the list. I then reversed and went back up the list again. And especially as you got down to the defense, there's a whole new wave of players that weren't on that list earlier that are now, that are interested, and it's going to continue to grow and evolve throughout the season. But I've gone both directions, up and down, cleared the list twice. From here on out for the rest of the season, that list is not going to repopulate at the same rate. There's not going to be another 800 players to look at over the next 9.5 months. I may get another 400, 500 over the next 9.5 months as it slowly kind of repopulates. But the activity, the fervor, the aggressive get after them is gone. And we've really, over the last month, we've added 4 players. I think at least 2 of those were U18s. Ola Odabami is the biggest addition we've had, can play all 3 positions on top. Isn't necessarily a starter, but we had a big hole at the left wing. And he's just good enough to kind of take over there. Chadwick is who I'd rather have, but he's been out injured. Dickinson is somebody we've relied on, and he's the one in blue. You can see that Odabami is faster, stronger, better vision, better aerially, not as good defending, not quite as good attacking, but otherwise, better all-around player. 2 long-term starters that are kind of being pushed out of the picture. Elliot Andrew, who started first few matches of the season. He's had 4 starts. He's had 3 appearances off the bench, a rating of 6.97. Odabemi has only appeared in 1 game so far after just signing. You can see similar mold, these 2 players. Faster, better vision, better aerially, better technically, better than Andrew, but not significantly, which is kind of the point on that it's an okay upgrade, but it's not a big upgrade. But the other one that he really, really takes after the model of, who did really good for us at this level in the first season and still contributed a fair bit last year, has already had 2 appearances this season. He is the same mold as Ty Ebanks, but better all around. The only thing he's not better in is defense, and they are same. So it's a big step up from Ebanks, and I think it's about time that we finally can, part ways with an Ebanks. Let's break it down the roster positionally briefly here. Chadwick should be back from his injury fairly soon. He's down to 3 to 6 weeks from that broken leg. He's been missed because he is probably our strongest, even though the assistant manager doesn't look at him as such. He's easily one of our best attacking players that we have. So getting him back in the mix is going to be important. And then we have our 2-star guys, our 2-star backups that are still on those amateur contracts that I may part ways with. But if you look at it, there's not much depth. Though I do have some U18s depth that are better than those guys. So if I become unafraid to bring those players in, then I can afford to part ways with these 2-star kind of guys. Dickinson, Andrew, still on the bench. I mean, that's how far off we are. But we are now looking at, 13 guys plus Chadwick. So 14 guys are what I see as my first 11. Tozer absolutely, can be in there. Tierney can be in there. I trust those guys. Walker, hit and miss. I mean, he's got 4 goals so far on the season, but not doing great. Odabami just came in, so don't count his stats. But looking at everybody else, Matty Jacob, I don't trust. He is not doing well. Leston Hughes is doing better. He's right about a 7 for his average rating, but we are not getting out of the fullbacks what we want. And I lost the fullbacks we had. I mean, I lost our top 2 guys, 3 out of 4. Matty Jacob was the only one left, and he's on the weaker side. And Leston Hughes is only ever so slightly better. So as the season goes on, I'm still going to be looking for goalkeepers, which that's the trial group that we have right now. But not looking like there's any likely guys that are going to come out of that group. But fullbacks and goalkeeper are the biggest weaknesses still. And if Walker does not start to perform, it looks like striker is still going to be, we're going to need a forward. At the very least, we need a second dedicated forward. And my scouting of guys, my trialist guys, none of them panned out except for a couple of U18s that maybe they are similar as Walker, and maybe I'll need to start giving them some time. But at least he and Shaq Ford are developing a relationship, but we are a little weak on the wings. We're definitely weak at fullback, strong through the middle though, so at least that helps support Killip. But we keep losing games 1-0 when our attack should be, providing us 2 or 3 goals. And the new faces, right now, all 4 on top are new faces, have just not come together as of yet. Shaq Ford's performing decently. He's got 3 goals himself, but he's still not quite getting the tactical familiarity sorted out just yet. And so there's a lot to do. And like I said, the assistant manager is getting much better results out of the team than I am. So I'm still in that tricky place, and I haven't made that decision yet of whether I should at least handle the occasional match for the side and let the assistant manager do the rest to, get some wins, or whether I just take the helm and see the team struggle and finish mid-table, but see myself improve as manager, so that in future seasons I can be the guy that actually leads this team and helps them get victories. I think that's going to take multiple years. That would be a multiple year project to do, as opposed to trusting the assistants, trusting the AI. It's a weird spot to be in. I've never properly been in this, even though I've done similar things where the manager is really bad to begin with, but for whatever reason, things worked out a little differently than how this one has started out. We're 3 years in, and I'm still pretty garbage as a manager. FA Cup, so we're in the 6th tier. The opposition today, Stafford, is in the 7th tier. They don't have data for last season, as it's an unplayable league, but in the previous year, they just missed promotion. So they are a team, on the fringes of our level. So we are not taking it easy, especially with myself at the helm, that we've already seen does not do a terribly good job of actually managing things. So we are putting essentially our first 11 out there. And I did bring in a couple U18s to add to the bench, as you do have a little more room on that bench here for the FA Cup. 7 instead of 5, as Lupala Bai goes close there, but cannot get that one into the upper corners. Keeper makes the save. It's definitely on target, though. We do have a couple suspensions and or injuries that has seen, like Tozer pick up the start. And of course Chadwick has been out throughout, but he is getting close. He had a fitness test leading up to this game. He did not pass it, but he is getting close to returning from his injury that happened in first or 2 days of training in the preseason in July. Ford's been doing a pretty good job, but not fantastic job. But again, some of that's familiarity. Paulo Bai, nice aggressive play there, clean play. He's going to recover, keep going. He's going to lay it off. Doesn't have much flair from the looks of it. Paulo Bai sets up Ford. Ford looks for some space, doesn't really find it, and ends up just blasting it into the wall. And We don't even get the corner out of it. Just the throw. Hughes, I thought he was offside, but maybe not. Either way, we're going to have to keep playing. Jacob recovers the ball. And now in possession over the top for Walker. Walker's going to get a chance here, but cannot finish. It was definitely onside. That was a well-placed ball over the top. That cross in. Ola Adabami gets the chance. Keeper makes the save. Whitehall. It's cleared out. And we are all over them here. First 15 minutes, we had 8 shots, including 6 on target. And already right about 1 in the XG department. Ooh, that deflection off an offensive player. That could have gone anywhere. Hughes over the top, and that was a great ball for him. Well-placed run, but we recover well enough. Killip punches that one away, and still they attack. Ford nicks the ball, but not enough to recover possession, and eventually they do get another shot off. So while we are dominating, it's not full on. Ford, that's deflected, and then kind of goes right at the keeper for a pretty easy stop. Half an hour play, and the dominance is not showing as much anymore. Hughes makes a nice play there, though. Followed by, lays it off for Hughes. Underlaps. It was inverted into the box, but cannot get his shot on target. Our fullbacks are not scorers. Approaching halftime now. They've gotten a little more sound with their defense, and that was the first real threat they've posed. That was a decent save from Killip. It was their first one on target. Already well over 1 goal, but you can see after a very quick start, they got into that game a little bit. We still outplayed them the rest of that half, but that first 20 minutes was all us. No changes, but Walker, Jacob, both struggling. Everybody else playing pretty well. First 3 minutes of the half, they've already had a shot attempt, so we're going to have to keep an eye on that. We've had 2 attempts, but we had 6 on target from our first 8 shots. We have 14 shots now, have not added any more on target. Our last 6 have all been off target. That's one way to not improve your XG by much. Good possession headers. Good possession at the moment. Followed by, cuts inside, sets up Ola Odabemi into the edge of the box, lays it off for Tozer. Tozer above the upper corner. Probably a good 4 or 5 feet above. And that's an hour played already. Jacob's rating improved. Walker's rating has improved, but we are not creating much chances. They, I believe, have gotten pretty defensive and are trying to hit us on the counter based on what I'm seeing in the game flow. Whitehall, nice find for Lapala Bai. Lays it off for Whitehall again. Hughes nearly crossed that into the upper corner. Far side. Odabemi sets up Walker and gets that into the back of the net. I thought he might have gone just over the crossbar there, but it didn't have a whole lot on it. And so it arced and it dropped. And it dropped inside. Keeper does nothing. It doesn't even move. He just freezes. Looks like Walker maybe juked him out. Seemed like he thought it was going to go back to the near post, but he went over the far post, and that was that. 1-0. Not a great performance, though, scoreline-wise. You would expect us to be doing more, but like I said, these guys are just on the fringes as Ola Odabemi so close. Flag raised. I thought maybe the run was well-timed, but it was tight. Cuts inside. Nice possession there. Walker retreats to pick that up. And we reset. Again, he lays it off. Matty Jacob finds Ford. Ford lays off for Whitehall. Whitehall cannot finish. Jacob struggling. Let's go ahead and see if we've got a sub. What we have for another option, Dickinson. I suppose Dickinson is about the same. So, Odabemi picked up the foul on that one. Aggressive play from the defense there. Wilson heads that away. Dickinson's going to pick that up. The sub's already been made. 69 minutes played. I would like to get a youth player in, but We are struggling to seal this game. Can we get a second? Ford does. Now we can look to make that sub. What do I have for young players? Let's just kind of see. Edmondson and Patterson Powell. Okay, Lapallo by, sure. And then Edmondson for who's more tired? It's really the same either way. Let's go ahead and give Wilson the break for that one. They've had just 2 shot attempts here in the second half. One of those in the first couple of minutes of it. Only one in the 20 plus minutes since. Ola. Man, it's hard to say his name. Ola. Maybe we just need to shorten that to Ola. Sets up Walker. Walker has to flash that one across body. That's blocked. That's a corner. Walker did well to get a leg to it, but the defense did well to block that one, keep that one out. See that game flow getting more and more in our favor, match momentum. Second half has been all us, though marginally at first. We've picked up some more momentum as time has gone on. 27 shots now. We had 14 in the first half, I believe, so we have already nearly matched that. Ford, Walker, tap in. There's the third, and now the game is comfortably put away. Let's go ahead and back off to just positive. Get a couple more guys behind the ball. 28 and 12 with a 3.58. 3 goals deserved. And make that 4. Pierre off the free kick. Difficult to score a header from there, too. I mean, that's the edge of the box. Literally, he's got his left foot on the line, his right foot outside of the box. Keeper should do better. Stoppage time, and that's going to do it. Whistle coming in a moment. 1-0 was harsh. 4-0 is harsh the other way now. They played better than 4-0. We played better than 1-0. I think that game should have finished with 2 to 3 goals, but not 4. Based on the XG, though, 4 sounds about right. But I think 3 would have been a little more deserved for them. But we were very dominant in that last half an hour. Once they got down a goal and had to attack, I think they were boxed in through most of the game and just trying to hit us on the counter. And got little chances. We were definitely dominating. That goal was a long time coming, but once it came, it opened the floodgates, meaning they had to change tactically. And once the game opened up, we dominated. New gate receipts record. I have a feeling the club may have changed the pricing this year, because that's $250,000 more than what we had for the playoff first round a year ago. FA Cup, sure, but we were in the FA Cup last year too. Maybe it was just a larger crowd, but we don't seem to have set a record for attendance just for gate receipts. It was 58 away fans with 70,653 overall. So it was roughly 70,600 fans came to see us for that one. We are well supported, but that is the whole premise here. Can we start from nothing, and can we take well supported and turn that into a world-class football club without any of those other aids along the way? Of course, we're already starting to translate that into better facilities. Senior, now also youth level on its way. We're seeing the increases bit by bit, but we are also seeing, of course, the challenge that is a manager who is quite garbage at the helm and only slowly getting better. Based on recent performances, I think I've come to a decision that makes a certain amount of sense. Technically, just based on attributes and based on the function, the goal with the series, I am the equivalent of the U18s player that you want to see develop. I'm your cup goalkeeper. I'm your, get your minutes off the bench in the cup performances. We're going to see that kind of play out in a literal sense. the AI manager does a hell of a job and the team gets results and they win, and they often win big. They just had another 4-0 win. Of course, we had a tough start schedule-wise in terms of the opposition, who we were playing, right? 5 of our first 8 games were against top 6 teams. Played 5 of the 6 best teams in our first 8 games. It had a bit of a reason to do with why we struggled. But our goal differential is equal with the best team in the league, yet we are only 9th place right now. Because I keep taking control and the team underperforms. So I'm going to back down. And as it doesn't matter, I'm going to go ahead and manage the FA Cup, FA Trophy, to develop and grow as the manager. And sit out the league games. And maybe we'll manage personally, a bottom 4 side to help develop and get a little more. But I don't need to be the one managing against Kidderminster and Chester and Buxton, even if it's the instant result. I'm hurting the team. Let's see the team perform a little bit better under the assistant manager. Third qualifying round, we have the Warrington Rylands as the opponent. They're a little bit further down. I think they might be 8th tier, something along those lines. They're a ways down the pecking order, meaning we should have an easier time with this opponent. But only one change to the lineup that I had on the previous one, partially because the U18s just played today. Oh gosh, that was the first goal. Hammond gets one in the back of the net. That has no business. That shot didn't even have power on it. And lay that off. Hammond's going to take his chance. It's going to deflect, leg out, foot out. That's off the top of the foot and then off the keeper's hands. Originally on target, so it does count for Hammond on that goal. Whitehall gets a red card? Wow. 3rd minute, and Whitehall gets sent off with a straight red, where it looks like he was fouled. Maybe he got up and retaliated. We're going to be playing without a defensive mid. Hammond is just going to tuck in. I think we're going to accept that they're going to attack a little bit better now, but we should still firmly be in control of this thing. Maybe just positive instead of attacking to help keep players behind the ball a little bit, but harsh. Straight red a few minutes in when it looked like we were the ones who received the foul. Ref possibly failing to do his job, or maybe it was a correct call. Hughes. Not sure who got on the end of that. Their defensive player's name kind of covered up whoever that was. Should have been Ola. But anyway, made a decision to rest Walker and bring in Patterson Powell. The reason to rest Walker is he has had 2 minor injuries this week. And I was just worried that you play him when not needing him could just lead to problems. Jacob takes that free kick. They're going to clear that out. Since switching to 10 men, our dominating first few minutes has become much more balanced. We still seem to be in control, just not as firm as before. That one over the top for Patterson Powell. And he's going to beat the keeper. Nice touch. Keeper was patient and waited. But Patterson Powell pulls the ball to the side a little bit and then just gets it inside off the post. You see that touch to the right there. It get a little space and keep it away from the retreating defenders. And he gets his first goal. Oh, Wilson. Not a good clearance there. Not a necessary one. Jacob kind of does the same thing. And it's halftime. All right, second half underway. 2-0 lead. Looks like we probably will have this one secured, but with 10 men, you never quite know. Especially they might come out here in the second half. much more aggressive than in the first. Let's see if we can put this thing away. Apollo Bai recovers the ball after losing it initially. He's going to take it inside himself. And Patterson Powell nearly gets another after the ball was deflected, but he stays after it instead of allowing the keeper to make the simple grab. But then his shot is deflected out for the corner. Pierre, nice recovery. Sets up Jacob. Jacob cuts inside. Apollo Bai. Ooh. Nearly had the keeper beat. Keeper gets just enough, and it scrapes past the post and out. Patterson Powell recovers this ball, but picks the wrong layoff. Pierre. And then cleared away. Got a guy inside the box and laid it off outside of the box. So didn't have the vision on that one. Apollo Bai keeps that in. Hughes. Patterson Powell gets his second. Ooh, flag. Flag is up. Did look tight. Apparently it was just off. No, that's on. That is very much onside. Wrong call. No VAR here. Fortunately, we didn't need it. Patterson Powell denied his second goal by the wrong flag. And that's an hour played. Let's start looking at subs. Patterson Powell. Oh, off the woodwork. Looked like right on the corner. Ford not having a great day. So let's see if we can bring on Andrew, I suppose. Oh, no, they just scored. Seriously? Totally against the run of play. Pierre. Hammond. Man, Hammond sleeping on the job. Gosh, that ball was a couple inches behind him. One step back, and he's easily got that header. We're going to end up playing 90 minutes. When you include stoppage time, we're going to end up playing 90 minutes down a man. Andrew. In for Ford. I'm a little worried about having made that substitution now because that's a definite downgrade in quality. XG is at 2. Goals are at 2. Totally dominating, but they somehow are on the board and just a goal away from equalizing here. Just to get some playing time, and if we can, before the end of this thing, we will sub out Pierre, give him a breather, and bring on Edmondson, the young lad. Give him some time, but with a 1-goal lead, we get called over. Man, this ref is power hungry today. Making some ridiculous calls against us. Oh, off the post again. That one outside of the post, though. Very much the outside of the post. Pierre recovers the ball. Hammond finds Dickinson. Second chance out. Apollo's by. Cross is blocked. Pierre. Easy interception there. Time nearly up. So let's go ahead and bring on Edmondson. Oh, nice play there. Patterson Powell, though, can't quite get on the end of it, but he lays it off for Apollo Bai, who seals the deal, and it's 3-1. Dickinson, what a play there. Morris takes a touch, takes a second touch, but we intercept. Didn't fall for that pullback, and Apollo Bai just beats the keeper. Blasts that one into the left wall of the net. Ooh, Jacob. Poor pass to Edmondson there, but fortunately he does not freak out. This one looks offside, and the flag is raised. The deflection goes just wide. Not sure the keeper would have gotten there, so that one nearly went in, but it was well offside. And that one does it. We come away with a 3-1 victory to stay alive. And for me, as manager, with the new direction of we're going to sit and let the assistant manager do his thing and not get in his way as we rather suck at the job. Doing well enough to get out of a couple rounds here, but only just. According to the assistant manager, Matty Hughes, Whitehall's dismissal for the bad tackle was probably justified. Fourth qualifying round of the FA Cup. It's a tough one. We are at home. We've got Oldham Athletic. I don't know how long ago it was, but I know they were higher up the league system than they are now. They are 5th tier. We are 6th tier. Being that we've got a home field advantage, the expectation is that we actually manage to be competitive in this match. But that might be something that's a little bit easier with the assistant manager at the helm instead of myself. But this is where it doesn't matter. This is where it's okay if we get beat and get out. We're not going to win the FA Cup, so Ford tries to attack straight between the lines there and nearly gets away with it, but he gets a little too close to the center back, who then steps over and gets a foot in, clears the ball out. But been good through the first 20 minutes. 2 new updates for the roster. 1, Tanamowo, we just saw, new fullback, barely an upgrade on our 2 key guys, as that ball bends its way to no one and out of bounds, but it's a nice looking ball. It's just a little too high for the guy on the far post. Nearly half an hour played. Tanamowo taking the kick. Ford gets a second chance at it. Keeper just grabs that and then just keeps it in. Almost carries that out of bounds beyond the post. 5 shots already. It's all us. The other update, this is one that I'm happy for because unlike Tanamowo, who's only just slightly an upgrade, and there's a couple more offers out there for some good players. This is that phase of the season where we are finally snowball uphill type thing, and we're finding some better quality players that are interested. As Ford, big chance there, and he misses wildly. It wasn't even close there. We are approaching an XG of 1 already. But Matty Lund has been added in. Nearly took him on as a player coach, but his qualities just weren't quite there. But he was willing to sign as just a player alone, so we went ahead and took him, as Oldham has had a single shot just before halftime. Matty Lund, solid upgrade in defensive mid, which is one of our better areas. Second half underway, no changes for now. Pierre, bit tired. I'm guessing he might have gotten a bit of a knock for that one. We'll see how he does in the near future and whether we need to sub him out. Lund loses that ball. Apollo by keeps it though. Hammond deflected off Walker. Walker gets the goal. That was missing wide, but Walker gets a foot in there and gets just enough of that to get it to scrape off the inside of the post. Apollo by starts well to set that up. Recovers the ball second time. Hughes finds Hammond and Hammond shoots. And Walker, is that his chest or head? I thought it was a foot. Looking at that replay, I'm not sure where he touches that one. I mean, it went off Walker. The goal was Walker, not Hammond. I'm thinking that might have just brushed his forehead as he just extends out a little bit. And we've got the lead. Oh, Hughes cannot win that one. Pet, dangerous counterattack here. Hammond cuts that out. Pierre eventually recovers the ball. Oh, Apollo by though. Was that his header? Guy takes a bit of a dive there, but Hughes won that cleanly, at least as judged by the ref. And Walker finishing has just not been there. Does not have the same instincts. Ford! He's got pretty good instincts. That was deflected apparently for the corner. Didn't look like it was deflected. Approaching 1 hour. Pierre stays tired, so I don't think he's going to finish this game. But we'd like to keep him on as long as we can. A second goal would be really nice to then sub him out as he wins that header, and that's why I don't want to take him off. But we can't afford to have him dragging really bad. He's definitely tired. Ola struggling. Let's go ahead and bring on a sub for him. Andrew is the only logical choice. No, Billy Chadwick. Billy Chadwick is going to get his first appearance of the year for the club. One of my favorites on the roster, but has not seen time as he had a broken leg. Has finally passed his fitness test and is ready to play. So we're going to give him 20 minutes today. Lund has picked up a yellow, and Pierre is super tired. So Ben Tozer, not Edmondson, is going to come on as the occasion is calling for experience in Tozer. Tozer may soon be joined by a former real-life teammate on the roster, as we have an active offer in place, and so far nobody else has given an offer to the player. I'll hold off on who that may be until it's a done deal. Philip already stalling. Speaking of time wasting, go ahead and play for set pieces as well. Tozer heads that away. Hammond finds Chadwick. First action we've seen of Chadwick. Followed by Hughes. There's a nice triangle. Give and go. Walker's shot is blocked. 84th minute. Chadwick's going to take the corner here. Stalling a bit. It's the most we've seen of him so far. We'll just see the back of his jersey is all. Hammond recovers after that one's cleared away. Lund. Wilson. Oh, Ford cannot get that on target. Third sub probably needs to go to Lund, who's probably not that fit anyway. And does this mean we bring on Edmondson and bring Tozer up into the midfield? No. Let Lund finish it off. We'll sub somebody else out. Apollo by. Bring on the young player. The young pup. Ford. I thought he was going to play that through for Walker. Keeper would have been a 50-50 chance with the keeper, but that would have been a sure goal if we had gotten there first. That's blocked out. 30 seconds to go. One more chance to equalize here for Oldham. That's cleared out. Still have the ball though. Last chance probably, and that one is way high, way wide. Rosie, and that should do it. Already an extra 30 seconds gone by. We should see the whistle any moment, and there it is. There it is. We survive, and we will make FA Cup proper. First round coming. And we have beaten a team above us. Yeah, there's your confirmation. Oldham Athletic was League One as recent as 2018. Spent a number of years in League Two, 4 years, before coming down. I was going to say they were in the Football League. I was sure of it until recently. Mid-table the last couple of years in the National League. You could see just how much stronger they are compared to us in so many areas. Their media prediction had them finishing third. So we just defeated the predicted third place team from a tier above us. Struggling for balance. 500,000 in the hole. Getting out of the league has not been good for their finances. I'm guessing they're fairly high on salary compared to other teams around them. Schedule of late, we've only had a couple of league games, but Darlington 4-0 at home, 3-1 to Needham Market, one of the bottom teams, but it was a road victory. Both of those, the assistant manager getting the job done. The only league match that I have managed over the last 2 months was that home or away loss to Hereford, who's one of the weaker teams. And hence the let's hand it over to the assistant manager. But as we are most of the way through October now, FA Cup first round proper will be coming in the middle of November. That's going to be the next one that I do live. I'm going to let the assistant manager do the next 4. 3 of those at home. If we can come away with 9 or 10 points from those 4 matches, we should be back in a much better place in the league. We're already a little bit better off than where I last managed the team, as they now have 19 points, but 7 behind Kidderminster, not helping. Couple missed opportunities for them in their recent matches is making us a little bit closer than where we were, though. So hopefully the AI can pick up the slack that I've been leaving behind. Walker's performance has been much better of late, with 10 goals between the National League and the FA Cup. And actually his rating has been pretty good in the FA Cup with over an 8. Just a quick look at what we've done in terms of the U18s. We had no roster before. We do have a bit of a roster now. Quite a few of these guys, the half dozen here at the top, are ineligible for U18s, except that you could have 2 players that are in that 18-year-old but not yet 19 range. Donaldson just turned 19, but he still qualifies. Same with Harry Spence. Same with Pinion. They still qualify as over 18s for this year because it's over the course of the year. But anyway, those 6, 2 of them get to play in each over 18s game, and those are definitely the better prospects that we have. But then we do have some younger players that are here proper, but you can see they're definitely not as good. This was kind of the first round of players that I signed in June before everybody's contracts expired. I went after and started adding a few cheap ones in. I mean, we're looking at maybe 100,000 per year, which normally on a budget you'd worry about that, but that's nothing for this club. So having at least something regarding resembling a U18 squad is good for us, because some of these guys may get better, may do something. But the biggest thing that I'm doing, other than wasting 100,000, is just trying to get an idea of if there's actually any value in having these players. But at the same time, I want to grow a program, and you've got to have some players to do that, right? I mean, it feels like we should do something with them. And so something I'm doing. Middle of October, so it's still early in the season. Morale is 20 of 20, so morale is very good right now, as the team is performing much better than it was under my guidance. But the reputation has come up by 40 points so far this season, as we were at 235 at the start of the year. So at least we're making some progress in that department. Balance is now 16 million. So that's coming up. There's definitely going to be money to spend. Our finances are now considered secure. So I think we'll have an easier time with the board now going forward. No more requests for this episode, though. We've already made one. We've already gotten it. Making some progress there. The board's pretty happy, and we've had a good approval rate lately. You know what? Let's go ahead and make another one. It's been a month. Technically, the day before we asked about the improved youth facilities, we sent our assistant manager on a new coaching course after he had just finished the previous one. So improve youth recruitment. Last one rejected. I'm still looking to get us out of that first level, or that non-existent 0 level. We're also going to double dip here. Number of coaches allowed. Let's see if we can get that increased, as I'm quite terrible at the job of coaching. And right now I'm coaching a lot of different areas with just a few specialized coaches who can do one category okay based on the level and reputation we have and what we can hire in terms of staff. Coach increase, not passed. They've rejected that one, but we'll see about the other. And youth recruitment has failed as well. So there's only so much we can get at a time. We'll have to keep pushing. I think that one still has something to do with our reputation being pretty poor. on why we can't get that one to improve, because that's similar to feedback we got the last time we asked about this one. That is going to do it for this episode, though. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.